Hi Year 1, we're starting today's maths lesson with another flashback 4. So these are just some questions based on what we've learnt previously to see what we can remember. So I'll just go through what the questions say and then give you some time to have a think, and then I'll go through the answers. So the first one we need to start with are the 10 frames. You need to work out which number the 10 frames represent. And then question 1 says how many cupcakes. So here, if you count how many cupcakes there are in one group, you can then use your counting in multiples to work out how many there are altogether. Question 2 says which bottle contains more juice, A or B? So you need to look at the pictures here and then decide which has more juice inside. Question 3, complete the sentence using shorter or longer. So the blue line is something than the red line. Question 4, add 3 and 8 together. So for that one, if you put the biggest number in your head and then count forwards to find the answer. So pause the video now to have a think, and I'm going to go through the answers. So here, if we have a look at the 10 frames, we can see the first one is complete, so that represents 10. And the second one is not complete, so we need to count how many counters are inside. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got 10 here and 8 here. We know that 10 add 8 makes 18. Question 1, how many cupcakes? So if we count how many cupcakes there are in one group first of all, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cupcakes in one group. So we know there's 10 in one, so what we can do now is count in multiples of 10 to work out the total. So 10, 20, 30, 40. Question 2, which bottle contains more juice, A or B? We can see that A has got more juice inside. Question 3, complete the sentence using shorter or longer. We can see that the blue line is longer than the red line. And question 4, add 3 and 8 together. If we put 8 in our head and then count forwards 3, so 9, 10, 11. Okay. So today's lesson we are focusing on making equal groups. So as our anchor we've got 3 groups here, and we need to decide if the groups are equal and explain how we know. So if we think about what equal means, it means that the groups are the same. So if they are equal, they will all have the same number of cubes inside. So let's count how many cubes are in each group. So for the first group, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cubes. The second group has 1, 2, 3, 4. And the third group has got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know that the groups are equal because they all contain the same number of cubes. Okay, so moving on to making equal groups now. To start off with, we need to count how many donuts we are starting with here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we've got 12 donuts in total. And now we need to place the donuts into equal groups of 4. Now we don't know how many groups we need to make straight away, but all we do know is that there are 4 donuts in each group. So what we can do to start with is to draw one group with 4 donuts inside and then work out how many we've got left. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got quite a few donuts left, so we can make another group. We have to make sure we've got 4 in this group as well because the group should be equal. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you can see, we've got 4 donuts left over, so enough for one more group. Okay. So we've got 3 groups and each group contains 4 donuts. So when we're doing grouping, it is easier to do it with rows and columns. So just thinking back to last week, we spoke about something called arrays, and that just means arranging objects into rows and columns. So rows go across and columns go down. And here we are making groups of 3. And if we look carefully at this array, we can see that the columns are actually in groups of 3 because there are 3 donuts in each column. So we can use this to help us with our grouping. So there's one group, 2 groups, 3 and 4. So we've got 4 groups with 3 donuts in each one. So there are 4 groups of 3. Okay, so this time we've still got our 12 donuts in the array, but we're making groups of 6. And if we look again at the columns, we know we've got 3 donuts in each column. So in the first column we've got 3, and in the second column we've got 3. And we know that double 3 is 6. So we can group using our columns again. But this time, 2 columns makes a group. So we've got one group there, and we've got one group there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 donuts in each group, and altogether there are 2 groups. So there are 2 groups of 6. So for this question, we need to start off by working out how many pencils there are altogether. Well, I can see that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pencils in one group, and I can count in multiples of 5. So there are 5, 10, 15, 20. So there are 20 pencils altogether. Now I need to work out how many equal groups there are. So I've got one group here, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 equal groups of 5 pencils because there are 5 pencils in each one. Okay, so this time I've got to work out how many apples there are altogether. Well, I can see that they are in groups of 2, so I'm going to count in multiples of 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. There are 14 apples altogether. And now I'm going to work out how many groups of apples I've got. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 equal groups of 2 apples because there are 2 in each group. So this time we've got a reasoning question and it says, Rosie has 16 sweets. Can she make 3 equal groups of 5? Explain your answer. So what I'm going to do is to group the sweets into 5 first of all to see if I can make 3 equal groups. So I'm going to count out 5 in one go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then put them in a group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, put them in a group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They make another group, but as you can see, I've got this one little sweet here on its own. So Rosie cannot make 3 equal groups of 5 using her 16 sweets because there is 1 sweet left over. So Rosie cannot make 3 equal groups of 5 because there is 1 sweet left over. So here there are 2 practice questions for you to try, and then you can move on to watching the White Rose video. And then here we've got some silver questions followed by some gold and platinum challenges.